Good morning. My name is Carrie, and I'm very happy to get to share the children's time with you. Our Bible story for this week is from the book of Acts in the Bible. And Acts tells about the things that Jesus' friends, the disciples, did after Easter and after Jesus rose to be in heaven with God. So they went around teaching and healing and doing all kinds of interesting things, and we get to learn about some of those when we read Acts in the Bible. So this story is called Peter and Tabitha. Tabitha was a very kind woman who loved Jesus and was very good at making clothing. She made tunics and cloaks and robes and all kinds of clothes that people used to wear at that time. And she also made clothes for people who didn't even have enough money to buy clothes. So that was very kind. And people loved Tabitha, and Tabitha loved them. So the people were really, really sad when Tabitha got sick and died. They hugged each other and they got together and they cried and they were just so sad. But then someone remembered that Jesus' disciple Peter was in a town nearby. And so they went to Peter and they said, "Oh, Tabitha has died. We're so sad. Please come to our town." So Peter got up right away and he went to go see Tabitha. And when he got there, Peter told all the people to go outside of Tabitha's house so that he could pray. And he got down on his knees and he said, "Jesus, it is not right that Tabitha died. She served so many people by making beautiful clothing to help them. She told people about you and she loved everyone. Please, Jesus, bring her back to life." Well, Peter lifted his head and he looked at Tabitha and he whispered in her ear, "Tabitha, get up." And Tabitha opened her eyes and sat up. She was alive. Peter held Tabitha's hand and he helped her stand up and walk over to the window. And where all the people were waiting outside her house to see what would happen, and she looked out the window and waved to them. And when her friends saw her alive, they were so happy and excited. And they were telling other people about what Peter had done. They knew that Jesus had given Peter the power to heal people in his name. And so after a little bit, all the people in the town believed in Jesus because they saw what had happened with Tabitha. They knew that even though Jesus was living in heaven now, his power was still alive and well on the earth. Wow, what an amazing story. One of the things I think is fun to do with some Bible stories, and this is a good example of one, is to act them out. This would be a great story to act out. You could act it out with your brothers and sisters. You could act it out with puppets or action figures, or you can even just act it out in your own imagination and pretend, what if I was Tabitha? Let me pretend to be Tabitha and tell this story in my head to myself. Or what if I was Peter? Or what if I was one of Tabitha's friends? It's really a great way to help you remember the stories and to really think about them, and also to kind of listen to God's nudgings while you're telling those stories and acting them out and seeing what message God might have for you in that moment. So I encourage you to act out the story of Tabitha and Peter this week, and maybe find another Bible story that you like too and act that one out as well. So let's have a prayer. God, thank you for the power that heals us. Bring us closer to one another and give us opportunities to share God's love and healing power with one another. Amen. Thank you, boys and girls. I hope you have a wonderful week.